The final landing of the space shuttle. Atlantis touched down early this morning at the Kennedy Space Center, a perfect end to the shuttle program's last mission. CBS News national correspondent Chip Reid is at KSC with more for us this morning. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning, Chris. You can see the shuttle Atlantis at the end of the runway behind me. And in fact, this is the last time you will ever see a space shuttle on an active runway. NASA plans to put a plaque at that very spot to signify the end of an era.
It was a perfect landing as the Atlantis touched down after a 13-day mission delivering supplies to the International Space Station, a final voyage that brings the shuttle program to an end.
We copy your will stop, and we'll take this opportunity to congratulate you, Atlantis.
Here at the Kennedy Space Center, those are the words, wheels stopped. Everyone has been dreading. Bill Harwood has covered the space program for CBS News for 20 years.
It really does mean the end of the program. And for the tens of thousands of people that have worked on these space shuttles over the last 30 years, it's really almost like losing a close friend. It's a gut-wrenching, emotional moment, and I'm not sure there'll be a dry eye on the runway.
After 30 years and 135 flights, the shuttle program has its share of accomplishments, building the International Space Station and deploying 180 satellites and space probes.
Roger, Challenger.
But there have also been heart-wrenching tragedies. The Challenger disaster in 1986 that took the lives of a crew of 7 and brought the shuttle program to a halt for nearly 3 years. And in 2003, the Columbia burned up on re-entry with the loss of another 7 astronauts. What's next for the U.S. space program is uncertain. When President Bush decided to end the shuttle program, he announced a new mission to return to the moon. But President Obama canceled that program in favor of a longer-term plan to land astronauts on an asteroid and eventually Mars. For now, getting U.S. astronauts to the space station will mean buying a seat on a Russian spacecraft.
The idea that NASA is having to retire this iconic spacecraft, the space shuttle, in favor of hitching rides with the Russians. It's quite an ironic turn of events 50 years after the start of the space race.
As many as 3,000 people will be laid off starting tomorrow here at the Kennedy Space Center, and that's on top of thousands of others who have already been laid off. You know, Chris, for decades, this part of Florida has been known as the Space Coast. Now people around here are starting to call it the Ghost Coast.
Yeah, another tough part of this story. Chip, thanks so much. That's CBS's Chip Reid at the Kennedy Space Center for us this morning.